What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. Happy Friday to you. For those in the US, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving yesterday, but it's back to trading as the markets, the traditional markets, are open today. And as we know, the crypto markets are open all day, every day, no matter what time or day it is. So let us get right into it. I'll talk about Bitcoin, obviously, and its recent price surge. Where do I think Bitcoin is going? What moves did we make in cryptocurrency? And then I'll go over the traditional markets as well. So looking at the coin market cap, we're currently at 210 billion, which is amazing because we fell below 200 billion just a few days ago. But as you see, Bitcoin is now up almost 8% over the last week. We bought the dip on Bitcoin. I'll go into those levels specifically. Few other coins that were up in the last week significantly. Bitcoin SV up almost 16%, Cardano up almost 14%, Tron almost 13%, and Monero up almost 11%. And then we have a few below the top 15. Obviously, a lot of green in the market. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. And for those of you that are part of the trading group, good job on buying the dip. I keep sending out my Bitcoin trades, my crypto trades, what I'm doing. This is in the private trading group that I run. If you want access to the alerts, link is in the description. Although I would say wait until the first of the month before signing up so that you don't get double charged, because if you sign up today, you'll get charged today as well as the first of the month. So wait until the first of the month. But we've been buying the dip on Bitcoin. And the reason that, it wasn't all doom and gloom for me, or why my outlook on Bitcoin wasn't all doom and gloom, is because we were still in this descending descending channel here, right? And it's a clear pattern that you see here, hitting the support and resistance consistently multiple times over the last, 4 months, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah, 4 or 5 months, really. And while everyone was calling for a 3K Bitcoin or 4K Bitcoin, if you've been following my videos for a long time, you'll know that, I'm not really one for hyperbolic predictions. TA isn't really meant to predict anything, really. It's for you to use in order to try and gain a plausible perspective in the short term and long term so that you can base your trades around, right? So saying that Bitcoin is going to hit 4K by the end of 2020, I mean, that's just baseless. So that's why, I wasn't really calling for that. And it isn't even part of my repertoire or my trading style to engage in such hyperbolic predictions. So for me, as long as Bitcoin stays within this trend, then the trades within this trend are still valid, meaning I'm still buying at support and I'm still shorting at resistance. And, here was no different. We loaded up on Bitcoin at support. Over here between the 6,600 level, we were oversold on the RSI. As you see, the LMACD is starting to curl upwards, and the LMACD has really been a consistent and reliable indicator for us in this entire trend. Every time the LMACD crosses positively, then we do see a rally. Sometimes that rally is large, taking us from, something like 7,700 all the way up to 12,000, and sometimes that rally is minimal. But either way, it has been a reliable indicator. And I've shared the LMACD in previous videos, the difference between the LMACD and the MACD. So I won't go over it in this video. You can do your own research. But I was saying in the trade alert that I put, the most recent trade alert, that Bitcoin has a very plausible move to 7,900, which is where the 0.382 fib level is, right? And we are currently, we almost hit that level. We went to 7,850, so just $50 shy of 7,900. And, for all intents and purposes, it looks like on the RSI, Bitcoin is rising. The VFI, there's a positive curl upwards. Like I said, the LMACD is about to curl upwards. There isn't, any reason to call for a 3K or 4K Bitcoin. That really doesn't do you any good. Plus, you also end up missing out on what we call in the traditional markets the best days in the market. And this case is no different. If you didn't buy the dip at 6,600 or 6,700 because you're waiting for that 4K or 3K Bitcoin that everybody was talking about, then you sold yourself short, because over the last 5 days, Bitcoin is up 20%. And if you're leverage trading, you're up a hell of a lot more than 20% as well, right? But you could even have just bought Bitcoin on the spot market and you're your portfolio would be up 20% now. And for those that are asking, how do you know that the price won't go down further? Well, you don't. But remember, trend is your friend until the end, right? So you're going to be trading no matter what. Would you rather buy at the dip or would you rather buy at the high? You have to give yourself the best chance to win, correct? So, when you say, oh, how did you have the guts to buy at 6,600 or 6,700? Think not knowing whether the price will dip down. Well, I'd much rather buy then than, buy at 7,800 or 10,000 even. So obviously you're already taking a risk by trading the market. But if you're going to trade the market, you have to give yourself the best chance to win. So in the short term, I do see a plausible move to where the 50 MA and the 0.5 fib level is. So between 8,400 and 8,500, I think that is a very plausible move for Bitcoin, especially considering the type of volume that we've been getting the last 4 or 5 days. This is really the best consecutive volume that we've had since that rally in June. I mean, we did have a little spike here towards the end of October, but it only lasted about 3 days before dipping back down and causing this downside action that we saw here that took us all the way down to that 6,700 level. Other trades that I sent out in the private trading group: XTZ up almost 9%, ZRX BTC were up 14% in the last week. So again, if you want access to that, sign up. Link is in the description. You also I do a 0.03 Bitcoin drawing on the first of every month. And that's just a way of giving back and saying thank you for being part of the group. But you're automatically entered into the 0.03 Bitcoin drawing that we do on the first of every month. And I'm about to do that again on Sunday, right? Because that's the first of the month. So yes, I give away 0.03 Bitcoin the first of every month for anybody that signs up in the group. Anyway, so that is Bitcoin in a nutshell. Again, trend is your friend until the end. I'm going to stay trading within this trend. Obviously, a descending channel. The expectation is that it eventually breaks to the upside. That is the most likely direction that a descending channel breaks out in. Obviously, it could break to the downside, but I'm not anticipating that until it actually happens. For long-term traders, you can keep dollar cost averaging on the major dips, right? But for swing traders, you can make a heck of a lot of money if you just stay within this trend and not listen to the naysayers or people that are trying to predict the most exaggerated and most hyperbolic scenario where Bitcoin is, worthless. So, imagine if you shorted and longed at every point within this channel at the support and resistance, right? I mean, with leverage, we made hundreds of percentage point gains within this channel. All right, let us take a look at the traditional markets real quick. You'll see that let me go back to the homepage. We'll talk about oil in a second, but we're down about 30% on all the major indices after a good number of days of gains. I think we had 5 straight days of gains. Obviously, yesterday was a day off due to Thanksgiving. So we're seeing a little bit of a pullback here, down 1/3% on all of the indices. Oil is down like crazy. If you take a look at UWT, which is the ETF that we usually like to trade in the group because it's a 3x ETF, right? It's a leverage ETF. And so, speculating on oil prices, you can make a heck of a lot of money using something like UWT. But UWT is entering back in the buy zone. Usually buy UWT between $9 and $10.50 and ride it all the way up to $12. And we've been trading that swing for a while now, going all the way back to last year. But since June, it's been hitting this yellow zone, going to $12 or above. Every time it hits this yellow zone, we end up buying UWT again. And we saw a 13% drop on UWT today, a 13% single drop. And that is due to basically the tensions that are arising with China as the U.S. signed a Human Rights Bill Act aimed at China and its human rights abuses that it is doing in Hong Kong, right? So obviously China saw that as a combative action, and so that has sparked more tensions between the U.S. and China, especially as the trade war is ongoing. Couple that with the fact that U.S. oil inventories has been rising like crazy, right? So that increases the supply, which then decreases the price. Once you restrict supply, that has an effect on price in a positive manner, right? So lower supply makes things more expensive, but the U.S. has been ramping up its oil production, and that coupled with the tensions with China dropped oil prices today. So definitely looking to get back into UWT. I'll send that out in the trade alerts when I do, so look out for that. Couple of other stocks in our portfolio. Disney has been killing it since we bought the dip. 11, almost 12% up on Disney. This is one of our major holdings. Looking at Microsoft, this is the last one that I'll give you. This is another one of our major holdings, up almost 14% since buying the dip at the 100 moving average. Great gains on Microsoft. Anyway, that is it for this video. But before I go, I do want to show you a few promotions on some important tools that we use in trading. TradingView is having a Black Friday sale, almost 60% off on TradingView this Black Friday. Ledger, this is, for those that are involved in crypto, this is an offline storage wallet. Ledger is having a 30% off sale on their hardware wallets, and 3 Commas, which is the site or the service that I use to initiate trailing stops in my crypto trades, they're having up to 50% off today for Black Friday. So all 3 of those things, which are extremely valuable, which I use personally, which most people in the group that we run use, those are all on a fire sale today. You'll find links to all of that stuff in the description. So if you've been wanting to buy any of these services in the past and have been on the fence because of the cost, well, today is the day to snag some insane discounts. So again, links for all that stuff is in the description. If you want access to the trade alerts, same link is in the description. I would say don't sign up until the 1st, just so you're not double charged. 0.03 Bitcoin drawing that I'm going to be doing on Sunday. I'll do it late so that for those of you that want to sign up later in the day, I want to include you guys and give you guys a chance to win that 0.03 Bitcoin. Leave a thumbs up if you got anything out of this video. Leave a comment if you have a question or a comment. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there. Peace.